Y'all wave. Right, just want to make sure they know y'all alive. All right, then. So it's good to be here. First time I'm here. Your president rolled up on me like she was a gang member at Congressional Black Caucus. Literally threatening me. Why you didn't accept our invitation for commencement? And I was like, who are you? And I said, I did. I was waiting. I even told my mom I wasn't going to be there for Mother's Day because I was speaking. She's like, well, that must have been some confusion. I'm like, yeah, but you need to back up. No, I'm just kidding. So she said, well, we got to fix that. So she said, we'll do it for convocation. And so we were coming in, and I was still trying to figure out, what is a convocation? Anybody, are y'all like me trying to figure out what's a convocation? I thought so. See, I told y'all. See, all y'all the faculty folks with the degrees, no, come here, Miss Convocation, come here. We were in line, and so she, come on back up here, come on, Miss Convocation, come on. Since you talking smart in line, that's how you get busted. Go ahead and tell everybody what the hell a convocation is. Since obviously I ain't the only person confused about a convocation. Go on, come on.
Let me remind Mr. Martin that this is a solemn occasion and that a convocation is simply a convening. So we are convening for Founders Day celebration. Now, is that hard?
She still ain't explained what a convocation is. Just want y'all to know. Y'all probably like me. She ain't said nothing. We still don't know. And y'all killing me with this solemn stuff because I don't do solemn. I don't do funerals. I'm alive. So that's just first. I'm clear. And look, I'm going to speak in a minute. I know I'm at the HBCU. Y'all got a gala tonight. Y'all got the homecoming. Mr. Band Director, listen up, bro. I appreciate what y'all played earlier. That was great. That was wonderful. I was in the band, played bass, baritone, horn. I won awards. I was a cornet player. But if I come to a black school, I need to hear a black band. So before I speak, I ain't gonna be here for homecoming. I need to hear some HBCU music for at least 90 seconds before I speak. So come on back up here. I'll direct the band. Y'all, do y'all know something funky? Pick y'all instruments. You think I'm joking, dog? Can I please hear some what you call y'all band, the platinum? Can I hear a little platinum or some gold or something? Come on, 90 seconds. Y'all want to play something? Let's go. Man, I am not joking. Come on. So excuse me for y'all this solemn occasion. We about to have a funk fest. Let's go. Come on. Y'all gotta hurry up. Let's go. now, come on. Come on, clap, let's take this shit. All right, then. That's what I'm saying. So I guess y'all ain't got a solemn occasion now. Oh, y'all invited the wrong speaker if y'all wanted a solemn occasion. All right, that's how you do it. All right, then. See, now we can actually have a convocation. A black convocation. So glad to be here. So glad to see all of you here. So y'all messed up now because next year's convocation speaker ain't gonna be pretty. Y'all better roll the tape. I am glad to be here, glad to see all of you here. Y'all still ain't turn lights up, please. I need to see people. Y'all think I'm joking. I got 1.4 million social media followers. Don't get embarrassed, Duke Energy Center. Don't get embarrassed. Come on now. The reason I'm glad to be here is because, one, it's been quite busy. We're involved in this election. North Carolina is the 21st century Alabama when it comes to voter suppression. Oh, I've been giving folks hell for the last year. Now, I know folks say like, well, you shouldn't do that. No, I'm black. And I call things out. And so when we're done here, I'll be going to the NAACP State Conference, speaking there. Then I'm going to actually visit some early polling locations because we got a hashtag hold the line. Because when you have folks who by design targeted black people as a federal appeals court with a laser-like focus to ensure we don't vote, what we have to do is show them our power. We have to show them that if you gonna make us stand in one line, fine, we'll be there 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. We'll bring music, snacks, food, play dominoes, bid, whist, spades, whatever we need to do, but we gonna hold that line. Because we need to send some folks a message. If you mess with the vote, you mess with black people. So I'm not afraid to call some people out. I've been calling them out. And as the president said, if y'all wanted comfort, should have invited my wife. She's a minister. She would have prayed with you and consoled you. But God put me on this earth for discomfort. And so we have 11 days before this election is over. And we have to let our voices be heard because the vote that you make today is not for you, it's for your children's children. The impact of what you do today will impact the next generation. And so we must all understand that. And so I know you got some folks say, well, I'm not quite sure. No, because there's no issue in your life that politicians do not impact. There's no issue. And so to me, I don't sit here and play games with it. The reason I'm not at the gala tonight because I'm flying back to Dallas. That's my home base. That's my home state, even though I live in D.C., because I'm still registered to vote there. And so my mom and dad, they actually work the polls. I'll be going there with them as well, casting my ballot before I go back to D.C., because that means so much. So let's make sure that we do that to vote our interest, not party, not people, but our interests. And so we certainly want to do that. I was contemplating, first of all, I don't write speeches. I wrote a speech one time and I didn't read from it. I was mad as hell the whole time. I'm like, I spent all that time writing that speech. I was mad. So normally I just say, just tell me how much time I got. I'm good. And don't hate the gift, don't hate the gift. My wife is like that. She preaches and she goes to cocoon for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, what are you doing? It don't take all that. She get mad. I'll just take a half a scripture and come up with 3 points in 40 minutes. She's like, ooh, I can't stand you. I said, ooh, don't hate God, don't hate God, don't hate God. So I was contemplating what I wanted to talk about. We got Miss Epic, the president over here. We were on Facebook earlier, and she was giving me the whole rundown. Epic, she was just, I'm like, okay, it was like a 20-minute infomercial on my Facebook page. And I was going through, and I love to be able to get a feel for the room. Because I believe you let God do what God does, and that is speak to you in a different way. And I thought about this one question that applies not just to students, to faculty, administration, but also alumni. It applies to all of us, and that really is the question I think that we all have to answer for ourselves, and that is, what are you prepared to do? What are you prepared to do? One of my favorite movies is The Untouchables. And there's this scene between Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. And they're in a church. And they're trying to figure out how they are going to take out Al Capone. And Sean Connery looks to Kevin Costner and he says, what are you prepared to do? The Costner character then says, anything within the law to take him down. He said, then what are you prepared to do? He said, they come at you with a knife, you come at them with a gun. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue. He said, that's the Chicago way. But that question, what are you prepared to do, just stuck with me, because when I think about that really is a life challenge for all of us. What are you prepared to do? Because first of all, when you say, what are you prepared to do? You have to then define what's the what. What's the what? Those of us who were in college, we had to decide what was going to be our major, what was going to be our career emphasis. And some people went through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, a decade of college still trying to figure out the what. There are some people who went through college, I graduated with them, and they literally went through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, graduated, maybe, and then ended up not doing what they majored in. I never understood that because I went to a magnet school in Houston, School of Communications, and so at 14, I decided exactly what I want to do. In a month, I'll be 48, so literally for the last 34 years, that's all I've done is exactly what I am doing right now. I knew exactly what it is that I wanted to do, and I've had people who try to get me to do other things, to go into other areas of business, to go into politics, and I said no because I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Same thing for a lot of us. Some of us might still be sitting here in 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and you're still trying to figure out what's the what in your life. To me, there's nothing worse than going through life, meandering, trying to figure your way through it, and then you get to your 40s and 50s and 60s, and you literally have a life of regret because you never, ever dealt with the what. You just did a bunch of stuff. And just doing stuff, to me, that's just not interesting. Because there's nothing like waking up every single day knowing exactly why God placed you here. When you think about the psalm, I saw your yet unformed body. that says this, I knew exactly what you were destined to do. Because I said, I think so many people are just walking through this life because they never really sat down and asked God, what is your will for my life? They've gone through and they just sort of kind of did stuff, and it just happened. Because for me, I've always said the last thing I would want to do is say, man, I wish I had done that. I wish I had chosen to do that. See, I don't believe in a life of regret. I don't want to get to the point where there are more days behind me than days in front of me, and I literally say, man, I wish I had done that. I was somewhere and somebody said, man, you really shouldn't be out here dancing because somebody might shoot that and put it on YouTube because you know you're on television and you know and you big like that. I say, well, first of all, I'm already on YouTube dancing. And they said, well, you not scared of what other folk think? I said, I have never cared what other people thought. And this person was trying to figure that thing out. I said, listen, let me help you out with something. I said, we just lost Muhammad Ali, and I said, so many people would have loved to want to know, they would love to have heard his thoughts on what was happening present day. I said, yet we hear his voice because he did a whole lot of talking early in his career. And see, remember, his nickname was Louisville Lip. They say, you talk too much. People were saying, Ali, can you just shut up? You talk too much. But if it wasn't for all the talking Ali did then, we would not be able to hear him now because all the talking that he did then. See, I said it point blank. I said, you never know what happens in life. I might get to a point, be like your board chair. My foot messed up. I gotta sit here and walk. I saw you right there with a cute little boot. Something may happen where you can't dance. Something might happen where your legs don't work. You might be in a wheelchair or you're injured. But I said, but I can say play the tape. Because I danced when I could dance. I danced when my legs worked. And so I might not be able to dance today, but all you got to do is press play if you want to see how I could get down. See, my whole point is I'm not worried about what other people are thinking. I'm not worried about what other people are saying. Because you never know how your life may change in an instant, and you are left saying, man, I wish I had done that when I had the chance. See, a lot of us know about former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. She was at a campaign event in Arizona and was shot, almost killed, paralyzed, still struggling to speak, still struggling to walk. But what y'all don't realize is a week earlier, literally a week earlier, was the first time I met her and her husband. We were at a conference in South Carolina. And she was talking to my wife about the threats that she had been receiving. So the event was around New Year's, and we were at this particular event, and it was clock struck midnight, and folks are dancing, and the DJ's playing everything, and as usual, I'm in the middle of the dance floor. And I see her with her husband, astronaut Mark Kelly, and she's over there, man, and she's just feeling it. And so I walked over, and look, we had just met. I was like, Mark, man, go dance with your wife. He's like, Roland, I got 2 lead feet. He said, I don't have 2 left feet. He said, they're lead. I said, man, it don't matter. Look at your wife. Boy, she want to go dance. Man, get out there and dance. So they go to the dance floor, and man, she's out there, and she's just dancing and feeling it. And it was a week later, I'm watching television, and I see the breaking news, and they flash a photo, and I said, that name sounds familiar. Then I go back to my bag, and I get the business cards, and that was her. Do understand that likely is the last time they danced together like that. My point is, you cannot live a life of regret. Whether you are a freshman, whether you are a high school student, whether you are faculty, administration, whether you're a graduate, it does not matter. You shouldn't live a life of regret. So you begin to decide, what's the what what I want to do with my life. How do I want to be a person of consequence? How do I want folks to remember me? How can I impact society? And it might not be a situation where you're the president or you're the first lady or you're a member of the United States Senate or you're the governor or you're a state official or you're a CEO or you're an entrepreneur or you're on television, you have a radio show. You might just be somebody who works at the office. You might just be somebody who works for the city. You might just be somebody who works at the plant. But the reality is you still can have a profound impact on somebody's life just where you are. It does not matter your title. It does not matter how much money is in your bank account. What it matters is what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what is your character. See, then once you decide the what, you now got to get to the prepared part. See, there are a whole lot of people who say, man, I want to do this. And then all of a sudden they get the shot, but they flame out because they weren't prepared for the moment. There's nothing worse to me than for you to decide, I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden, you talking to people and you got your plans, you got your whole idea down. And all of a sudden, you come across somebody, and that's that moment, and you're unprepared. And the reason that is scary because you never know if that moment will ever come again. See, it amazes me when I hear people, they say, well, God will provide. And then you go, okay. But in the meantime, what you gonna do? We had a Voices of Praise choir when I was at Texas A&M. And we had a choir, and we had some holy roller people. I mean, we had some like really big. Like I said, I was born and raised Catholic, so I was like, look, y'all need to calm down because y'all are a little excited over here. It was a black Catholic church. I mean, we handle our business, but they were a little extra. And so we sitting here and we needed some new choir robes and we needed new drum set and everything like that. And this one sister stood up, the Lord will provide. And all these, they start shouting, they start screaming. And I'm sitting there and so I go, excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt y'all praise moment right now. But don't y'all think the Lord would like for us to create a fundraising plan? Because I just don't necessarily think 20 grand just gonna show up just out the blue. That might happen, but last I checked, he might want us to do a little work. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. And they knew I was born and raised Catholic, and I said, I know all y'all know the Bible backwards and forward. Y'all know all the books. Y'all can quote all that stuff. That's nice. I said, but last I checked, when Peter was with Jesus and he was walking and he stopped believing and he started to drown. Last I checked, I don't recall the scripture saying Jesus stuck his hand into the water and pulled Peter out. Last I checked, it said he stuck his hand out, which means Peter had to stick his hand out in order to grab Jesus' hand. Y'all might want to do some work too. All the holy rollers then sat down. I said, so what we gonna do? My point is you have to be prepared. You have to put in the time and the work. See, I love it when people come up to me and they say, man, they see what's happening right now. So they say, man, you got your show on TV One and you're on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. You're speaking all across the country and I see you on ABC and Fox News and Megyn Kelly and MSNBC. I say, yeah, but you didn't see the work. I said you didn't see when I was in high school where everybody else after the football games they all went out, but I was the one at the game shooting the video and bringing the stuff back. I said you didn't see that. You didn't see when I was in college when brothers wanted to go take a road trip. I said no, I got a conference tomorrow I got to work on. I said so you didn't see when all the work was being put in. You didn't see the times that they go, yeah, but you made it. And I said no, don't think I so-called made it. I said because even at 47 I'm still learning. Do understand that I'm sitting down still figuring the thing out when it comes to live streaming, when it comes to this, figuring out all the different processes, how to make it easier, how to make it faster, how to make it compact. See, don't understand right now, y'all, because see, sitting right back there is a backpack sitting back there with 5 HD cameras in that backpack with all kind of cords and equipment, because if something happens right now, I can pull the camera out because I still know how to shoot. It's called being prepared. And when we talk about I'm trying to go somewhere, I'm trying to do something, that means that you must put the time in, you must put the work in, you must put the sweat equity in, because folks love to talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes and 30,000 members of the Potter's House and preaching around the world, but nobody wants to talk about when he was digging ditches in West Virginia. Nobody wants to talk about when his wife was on food stamps to feed their family. Nobody wants to talk about when he had a car accident, when he almost was killed. Everybody wants to praise what happened now, but do understand you had to prepare yourself for the moment of greatness. Preparation. What are you prepared to do? Now, you can decide your what. You can decide, prepare yourself, but then it's the to-do part. Now comes the work. See, now comes the hard part. Because we go through this life and people get frustrated, they get upset, they begin to say, well, I don't know, but the to-do part is so critically important because you must put in the work. You must actually make it happen. You can't just wish it, you can't hope, you can't pray for it. You have to actually put in the time. You have to actually begin to do. You must step out there and begin to meet people and begin to network, begin to socialize, begin to build your career, begin to build these things. And do understand, freshmen in the room, do understand that the moment I walked onto the campus of Texas, what? And the preparation, but also the to-do part. I understood exactly why I was there. So as a freshman, I was already thinking of the day I graduated. And when I say to do understand that when you're one of those folks and you know exactly what you're doing, you're going to challenge some people and they might find you to be crazy, but do understand you're not crazy. Do understand that you are in a different place than some people, and this thing comes down to what kind of vision do you have? See, now don't do this, but I'm about to tell y'all because professors don't get mad. I'm in college with a writing assignment. And it was a 15-minute class, and I decided to come to class 15 minutes late, and I left 15 minutes early. And so somebody back here like, oh my Lord, did he just did? Yes, I did. And I made an 84 on the writing assignment. So when it was over, the professor came back to me, and she said, I didn't talk to you, Roland. I was like, okay, all right, what you want to talk about? And she said, see, had you committed yourself, you could have made an A. I said, I really wasn't worried about your way. See, they back here like, did he just say? Yes, I did. I said, Dr. Thomas, let me explain something to you. I said, there will be a time in my career when I will be on deadline and I will only have 20 minutes to write a story. I said, I will have to be able to go to the scene of a story, get the who, what, where, when, how, and why, write that story up, whether it's 10, 12, 15, 18 inches, send that story in, and all I have is 20 minutes. I said, if I don't learn how to take a set of facts, write a story in 20 minutes, now I won't be able to do it then. If I don't do it then, I won't be able to keep the job. So whatever, I said, so I need you to stop being concerned about the 20 minutes and tell me how I made the 84 and how do I make up the other 16 points. Because the next time we have a writing assignment, I'm coming in 15 minutes late. I'm leaving 15 minutes early because I'm going to learn how to do this in 20 minutes and still make an A. Some of y'all don't want to clap on that because y'all, well, nobody up here clapping because they're like, I can't believe you told the professor that. But see, do understand, see, I decided at 14 what I wanted to do. I knew exactly what the what was. I was preparing myself for it, but also I had to then do the action part. See, I couldn't just sit here and say, well, I'm going to figure out later. No, I had to go through the steps to actually do it. See, she was only thinking about the moment that she was in. I was thinking about 10, 12, 15, 18, 20 years down the road, because I knew what the to-do part was. I was that kind of student. And so that's why I made it clear. When I leave here, and I told them point blank, call it arrogant, call it confident, call it cocky. I said, but I will be the best journalism student ever to come through this program, because I understood exactly what my purpose was. And so when it comes to the to-do part, we have to be people of action when it comes to moving forward. We simply can't stay static. We simply can't stay in one place. We simply can't just somehow think these things are going to magically happen. Maybe great things in our life. We'll be able to have riches and abundance because it will just simply come to me. No, it requires you to have a plan of action and then to execute. When we understand that, then all of a sudden we begin to see how things begin to change. And see, it also requires us to understand what our self-worth is and not buy into somebody else's hype. Because see, I appreciate all the stuff that people talking about, oh my God, you did this at CNN and this at CNN. But let me be perfectly clear. When I was at CNN didn't want to give me my own show. I earned it, but didn't want to give me my own show. But see, let me help y'all so you understand that. See, I didn't get first paid for television by CNN. I first got paid for television by TV One. It was Jonathan Rogers, the CEO of TV One, who said, your voice is important. I'm going to put it on a national platform. And see, I was with TV One before CNN. When I joined CNN, I didn't believe that ice was colder. I didn't believe that somehow it was better. I never left TV One even though I was at CNN. Some of y'all gonna get that in a second. I never left TV One. I thought CNN was important. Some of y'all might say, I'm at Shaw, but man, if I was at UNC, no, do understand, you take advantage of what your opportunity is. Some of y'all gonna get this in a second. And so in 2009, when CNN said, we're not going to give you a weekend show, I wasn't 100 feet outside the door of the president, John Klein, and I was on the phone with Jonathan Rogers, and I said, Jonathan, they're not going to give me a weekend show. He said, fine, we're going to launch a weekend show. That was May 2009. We announced it at Essence in July 2009, went on the air in September 2009, and that's how we created Washington Watch, a Sunday morning show for black folks on TV One that ran 4 years. I never left. See, I had a meeting with them and they said, when you going to give up TV One? When you going to give up Time Joyner? When you going to give up all this stuff and just focus on us? And I said, when you going to give me a 5-day-a-week show?
That's right, that's right, that's right.
I said, then I might think about it. No show, 2009, 2010, president gets fired. 2013, new leadership comes in, contract doesn't get renewed. Guess what happens? 2012, I'm negotiating with TV One. I already had my Sunday show, negotiating for a daily show. 2013 comes, we launched a daily show. So follow me here. Had a conversation in 2009. Why don't you leave? No. 2013, the folks who asked me to give all my stuff up, no longer there. But 2013, I still got Tom Joyner. I still got TV One. Went from a weekly show to a daily show. And now we're sitting in the conversation. And so that's why it was quite interesting. In March, when we were at the town hall in Ohio, it was the CNN TV One presidential town hall. Trust me, they wasn't too happy when Roland Martin was on stage next to their guy, Jay Tapper. And I'm saying, guess what? You thought you weren't going to give me a show. You thought I wasn't going to have an opportunity. But I knew what my what was. I knew I was prepared. I took action. I didn't think y'all were better then. And so here I stand. Now look at me now.
That's right.
See, I need you to understand that because, see, I spend more of my life in black media than I have in anywhere else. Because, see, I never believed that somehow black folks should have what is secondary. Because, see, people say, well, you work for a black paper because you can't work over there. No, I can work over there. I have the skills to work over there. I've got the resume to work over there. I've got the awards to work over there. But I choose to work over here. Because see, over here, this is mine. This is my show. I decide what goes on. I decide who I talk to. I decide what the issues are. And so, do you understand, when you have that opportunity, then you can control the dialogue. And see, a lot of folks around the country saw my call out of Wendy Williams or Snoop Dogg, and they said, oh man, that was great. But see, do understand, for the last 3 or 4 months, my Wendy Williams call out had about 8.3 million views on Facebook. But see, let me explain something to you when you don't fall for somebody else's okie doke. I had on my show Dr. Hadar Nicole Green, a sister, physicist, Morehouse. And so on my show was the first show where she came to talk about her laser technology that could shrink a cancer tumor to barely detectable. So she's coming on the show. Now y'all know what they say. We don't care about news. We don't care about stuff like that. All we want to talk about is entertainment, sports, and comedy. But check this out. Out of all the videos I've had, out of all the interviews that I've had, out of all of them, my interview with Dr. Hadar Nicole Green has now been seen 8.6 million times on Facebook. Surpassed every other video. Follow me here. See, if I did not make the choice a long time ago to decide what I wanted to do, if I didn't make the choice to prepare myself, if I didn't make the decision for the action part and to do part, I would not have been in the position to be able to get my own show, to execute my own vision. That sister would not have had the platform to be able to tell her story. So imagine the ability that here I am, I'm now impacting her cancer research by presenting her to the world. CNN hasn't had her on, MSNBC hasn't had her on, Fox News, ABC, CBS, NBC. This is why what we have matters, because when we have our own, we are controlling our own. We have our own messaging. We're able to touch people and push people and elevate people. Some of y'all don't get that. You sitting here at one of your own. If you didn't have Shaw, what would you have? There are some people sitting here right now who could not have gone somewhere else. There are some people sitting in this room right now where somebody said, I don't think you're worthy. There's somebody sitting in this room, they said, I don't think you're worth coming to our school. Just like they said, you shouldn't get your own show. But when you have the opportunity to have your own, you no longer are worried about what they think. Now it's all up to you to say, I got something, and I'm going to show y'all what I can do. I'm going to show you my skill set. And I want you to understand that. Whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, graduate, alumni, faculty, staff, it does not matter. You must believe that you are here. You are just as worthy. You are not secondary to NC State. You are not secondary to North Carolina. You are not secondary to some other schools. They might have a flashy campus, but do they have heart? They might have all the resources, but do they have love? They might have all the wonderful things and the resources, but do they have the passion to be able to educate somebody who otherwise would not get an education? You must understand what you have in your possession is great. I don't believe that TV One is secondary to any other network in the world. I don't believe that Tom Joyner Morning Show is secondary. I believe that what you do is you take something and you say, I'm going to take this thing to another level. And when your haters look at you and when they say, how did you do that? You said, because I believed in myself and I believed in where I was. I didn't think y'all were all that. I knew and understood that I had something in my life that was touching me, saying, you can be great. You can be awesome. You can be amazing. Don't think that you have to get their validation for anything. I don't need nobody else to affirm me, to validate me, to say what I am. I understand that my own people will do that for me every single day. And when I travel around this country and I see a 14-year-old and a 70-year-old and a 30-year-old and they say, man, you are empowering us with information you're giving us every single day, then I understand what my purpose has always been. I understand what my mission has always been. I understand what God's will for me always has been. And I understand when the question is asked, what are you prepared to do? My answer is exactly what I'm doing right now.
What are you prepared to do? Mr. Martin, you brought it home. We thank you so very much. I know Thank you. I know that all of you certainly enjoyed Mr. Martin, and let's give him another round of applause, please. His words will keep us moving in the right direction. And he says, think about it. When you wake up in the morning, think about what are you prepared to do? When you go to bed at night after studying and doing those things that are necessary, you ask yourself, what am I prepared to do? Again, Mr. Martin, we thank you for those words, and we certainly will applaud you. Madam President.
Mr. Martin, please come forward to the stage. On behalf of Shaw University's faculty, staff, students, alumni, and Board of Trustees, this plaque is in recognition of your meritorious message and forthrightness in acutely addressing global issues, national issues that impact our student population and our communities. We hope that you will accept this treasure from Shaw University and count it as a gift towards support for your message and towards support for your advocacy for HBCUs at large. Thank you.
Place it right there. Next, we will be favored with another musical selection from the University Band.